All right, so this video is going to be me doing a live walkthrough of how I would build a backing track for a worship song. We're going to be doing a camp this next week, and one of the songs we're doing is called "The Lord Will Provide." And so I've never done this song before. I've never built a track for this. I'm going to build it right now, showing you my process for doing this. And the whole point is to create a track that is pretty minimal, but enhances the sound of the rest of the worship band. We're going to have a drummer, we're going to have a keyboard player, a guitar player, acoustic guitar, and some vocals. So I have to fill in the gaps with some kind of low frequency bass energy, some extra percussion, and some synths to fill it out. And then anything else I can do to add that energy where maybe we would get that from an electric guitar. So I'm going to start in Ableton, and I like to build my tracks in the session view instead of the arrangement view, because then I can build each part of the song as its own scene. And so the cool thing is I used to have to use this plugin called Follow by Isotonic Studios, which is a bit of a hassle and it kind of crashed all the time. But Ableton built in scene changes. So I can automatically progress from one scene to the next, which is really convenient as I'm building the arrangement, because if I want to change it a little bit, all I have to do is just drag chorus 2 in a repeat or put the bridge again and copy it over. It just makes it a little bit simpler. You can obviously do it in the arrangement view where the timeline's laid out, but then you got to like copy and paste more elements. So this just works for me. So what I have is my click track here. That's going to be where I have my clicking guide, and then the main track here. So I have this song already set at 136, and I have a click saved from a different session. So let's just hear that.
Intro.
Okay, that's pretty good. I like to have maybe a 2-bar count off, so this would be perfect for us.
Intro.
And I'm going to come in here and make sure that's at 2, so it should progress to the next section right away.
Intro. Intro.
Okay, perfect. Let me drag this down here, and the first one's going to be
Intro.
oops,
Intro. Intro.
and then just drop to the next one, which is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to use this right here as my warm synthesizer, and I've got my MIDI keyboard here ready to rock on this one. And I'm kind of excited because with this arrangement, I'm going to be doing a mixolydian version of it, because it found that the melody seemed to work pretty well. So usually it's going to be, but the whole thing seems to work doing the mixolydian. So that's, instead of being E, B major, it's going to be E, B minor, and then I'm going to go to A, and then look at the flowers and all of their beauty. I don't know, seems to be a cool fit. What's going to make this song really easy to produce is that it's the same chord progression pretty much the entire song. So I like to start by building out the synthesizer, which is going to be kind of the underlying pad. A lot of times this kind of gets buried in the mix, but it does help for us listening to the backtracks to have some sort of harmonic bass to follow, to make sure that we're sticking along. Kind of something that kind of gives back affirmation that, yeah, I'm playing the right chords at the right time and I'm still with the track. Otherwise, it can feel a little bit empty and like there's a big void when there's just click going and you know that another track's going to come in later. So I like to have something going at all times, even if it gets buried in the mix. Usually the listener just kind of tunes it out. It's just kind of like a vibe in the space, but it really helps me at least. So we're going to start here. I used to type things in one by one, but then I found this awesome trick. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick here. So
Intro.
okay, so what you do is you click and it's lightning blue right here. And then if I press down these keys, notice how it's highlighting them in red. It means I'm kind of prepping the sound. I like this because I can kind of hear what chord I want without committing to it in a recording setup. So I do this, and then you just press the right arrow key and it fills it in, which is perfect. And then I can do the next one. Oops. And it makes it a lot more efficient to get this built in. Okay, perfect.
Intro. Intro.
Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna fill this out a little bit. So what I do is I have my click going.
Intro.
And I have to set this length to be the right amount of bars, which in this case it's going to be 8 bars, even though it's 6/8, so it'd be 4 bars, but I have it in 3/4 just for simplicity's sake. So 8 bars should be good, and then I have
Intro.
my guide
Verse.
here,
Intro.
which is just my voice pitched up so
Intro.
it cuts through more.
Intro. Verse.
There we go. So let's hear what this sounds like.
Verse. Intro.
Perfect. So now I'm just going to copy this over to the verse. Rename this verse 1. And at this point, I basically just follow the arrangement. This verse is going to be 16 bars, I believe. So I'm going to click here and turn this to 16. Then I check the click length, make that 16. Highlight this, duplicate it, Command D.
Intro.
And then
Intro. Chorus.
right to the chorus. And then I can just duplicate this track because it's the same. Chorus 1. And okay, cool. So let's add the synth bass. This helps us kind of create some low end rumble that is, I don't know, helpful to create some sustain and energy, especially when I don't have a bass player. But honestly, even with a bass player, I usually have it in there because the bass occupies a little bit higher of a frequency zone than you maybe think, and it has that grit and that energy, whereas the synthesizer adds some sustain that really just helps the whole thing feel bigger. So let me record and enable the string bass pad. Okay, perfect. And I try not to get too low because it gets rumbly and it's hard to reproduce with a PA. Like, it just doesn't have the same impact. Let me turn that up a little bit. Okay, so let's find that here. Perfect. Oops. Okay, this should be good. Everything I need, my Father has it. That feels good. So then I got to make sure that this is going to progress at the right time, which it should. Oops. It says stop. Next. There we go.
Chorus.
Cool. That's going to progress just right.
Chorus.
Change that to a verse.
Verse.
Perfect. I just noticed in the end of the verse, there's a bit of a build. So I'm going to duplicate this, or not duplicate this, extend the length of this clip here. This is our verse clip. And I need to duplicate that. Okay, looks like here I need to have F sharp minor chord. Oops. F sharp minor. Then an E over G. There we go. That should work. Okay, if I want to check a section later on and I just drag over the start point, it should work. Yep. Check that again. So this is the second half. Why would I worry at all? Would I worry at all? So faithful to perfect. Now I'll drag this back. So the nice thing with this arrangement is that you're just building the building blocks. So once you get one, you just build it on. You can copy it to the next time you come to that section, and it really helps speed up the process. So like right here, I have after the chorus comes the intro again, and it's 4 bars, which is 8 bars for us because we're at half of the counts per measure. and I can just copy the intro. Now I need to add in parts that weren't there before. So I'm gonna look at the bass synth. I'm gonna keep that going. Same thing, 8 bars. I'm gonna change to 1 bar at a time. And then record, enable. And, oh wait, it's the same as the chorus. We're gonna just copy it over. So.
Verse.
Perfect. Okay, and now since it's gonna do the same thing again, I'm just gonna copy these 2, option drag. Now I've got 2 more. And cool, so we're cruising along. So now I'm going to build out the same thing for the verse that I did on the pad. I need to change that second to last chord to be F sharp, G sharp. There we go. So that should be good. And then we get to the chorus again. Let me double check this is right. I tend to kind of get lost in the cues because it's kind of confusing. You have to like set the cue in the current track for what's gonna come next. But I think I have it right. Verse, chorus, intro.
Verse. Intro.
Cool. Intro, verse, chorus. And then this is probably gonna
Verse.
go to the
Intro. End.
okay, this is gonna be a big
Intro. End. Intro.
a big one. So I probably need to make a couple more cues, but I just basically use intro for anytime I'm gonna hit an interlude that's just instrumental. So, okay. So something I like to do then is add a little bit of percussion next. So I have some saved percussion loops in drum samples from I Want That Sound loops. And I think if I'm at 130, I can do a 140 loop. I like the double shaker because it's pretty smooth. Okay, that's perfect. And I'm gonna drag that in right here. It's nice to add this in later in the song because once you get it in, it's kind of hard to take it out.
Intro.
And I gotta set the warp time to 140. There we go.
Intro.
Oh, that's not gonna work. Ooh, okay. I need to tripletize this. I wonder if I can do it. Like this. Let me just get like half of it. Can I tripletize this? I make it swing. Maybe if I do beats. It doesn't seem to work. I don't know. Everything I need, my Father has it. I'm kind of convinced. Let's try Complex Pro. I kind of like texture better. Let's try that. Okay, I'm gonna turn that up a little bit so I can hear it. I don't know. It's a little wonky. Oops. That doesn't work for me. I'm gonna try going to a one. Oh no. Okay. Okay, let me try this. I'm trying to see if I can get this to warp better. Nope. What am I doing? Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I can get this shaker. Maybe I just need to go a different route here. Because usually I just put a shaker loop in there. But if I want a swung shaker, this is like a tuck, 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 which is, it's really frustrating because anything that's straight is easy to get. Anything that is swung is really hard to lay in. So, but I'm going to try using this as a drum rack. And the nice thing is with these music samples, I do have one shots, so I could use those and try to build like a custom shaker sound. So let's see what I can do here. Double shaker. Okay, I'm just gonna copy all these in here. There we go. Okay, and let's see if I can make something. I guess it doesn't need to be that complicated. I need to go down to 6 triplets and try to find the grid first. Maybe it's not triplets. Nope. Okay, that works. It's a little sloppy.
Intro.
Maybe if I make this accent like really quiet. I don't know, it's tough. Let me see if I can play it. Okay. I don't hate it. I think it'll work. Also, there's like a thunderstorm literally coming in right now, so it just keeps getting darker and darker throughout the video. Okay, let's keep that. Because I think it'll come in handy at some point. And I might be able to like smooth it out a little bit with some EQ or something. Because it just feels very abrasive. But I don't know. This kind of thing is always tough because it's like, okay, can you imagine someone go, I don't know if I could. Or if I was doing it, I don't know if I'd be like so rigid on that subdivision. I bet it's like kind of behind on the upbeat. So I don't know. I'll just try to smooth it out a little bit. Cutting some of this nastiness and boosting the highs. Okay. So, oh no, I hate that more. I think with the drums in, it'll feel okay. So now we got to keep this in for the rest of the time. Okay, so chorus 1 good, intro good, verse is going to be pretty much the same. Chorus 2, okay, and then we're going to have an intro after that, and then we're going to have a bridge. We're just going to call this bridge 1. Okay, so chorus 2, we're going to add a little bit more. So I have this brighter pad here. And what I'm going to do to kind of make it easier for myself is just copy the synth I had from the first one over and see if that helps us. And it's too low, so I'm going to shift arrow up and punch that up an octave. Let's see if that helps us. So the idea here is that once the band's in a little bit stronger, that warmer, darker pad's going to disappear in the mix, and we need something brighter and edgier to cut through. So it's got to kind of stand out pretty abrasively when there's something else playing. And I'm listening to this, and I want to emphasize some notes a little bit differently, so let me play it again. Try it again. Yeah, okay, let's hear this. I guess the problem with this arrangement is I can't do that. The only time they have a D sharp. So I guess I could change it to. I like that. Why not? Okay. So the intro has to be huge. And I'm going to keep everything in for this interlude. This is between the chorus and the bridge. Because I want to go a little bit higher on the bridge interlude before I get to the bridge so that it comes down a little bit. Because I think it's going to go down. Yeah. Okay. So add some strings in. Let's see if that adds more energy. Okay. Same thing, up the octave. Actually, no, I'm going to add the one from the, drag over the one from the other synth. Yeah. I'm going to get a little bit more creative with this. Okay. I'm going to kind of like drag... Okay, wait, what if I copied that line with a really strong... Let me just... I like that. Nice. Cool. Oops. So now that line would come in kind of as an undertone. I think I need to take that G sharp out. There we go. Nice. I feel like I have enough sustain from these guys. So I'm just gonna highlight all these and just add an interval below. I'm gonna go -7. That's nice. Okay. I'm like kind of freaking out about the storm a little bit, but it's okay. It's very dark in here now. I'm gonna add one more thing. It's not the best, but it does seem to cut through. Since this lead line is a piano, I'm gonna use, I have this like piano delay thing preset. I might need to tweak it a little bit, but that's okay. So it's going to be the exact same thing that these strings are doing. So let me just copy that over. I might need to pitch it up. Oh, okay. Now that I'm hearing that, it feels like it's just a little bit, needs to pull more. Okay, this is gonna be weird, but we're gonna do. Oh, that is so weird. It's like a 16th difference, but it feels right. That's what I get for like trying to make a computer track for such a song with so much feel. It's okay though. Oops. Okay. Literally texting my wife now because it just started thundering. I don't know if you could hear that. Okay, let's see if that makes it better. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I think it makes sense. Here's the alternative. Here's where it was. No, that's so wrong. Okay. That's trippy to me, honestly. It's kind of weird. Okay, let me see if I can feel this out. Nice. Okay. That works. Okay, so we're up to the bridge. Again, it's nice because this song is all the same pattern all the way through. And notice how like at the beginning it's very minimal and we just kind of build out the production so that it feels a little bit stronger. So I'm going to take everything out except for the main synth. Remember that synth is just the guide for us to know where we're at. I'll check the
verse, chorus, bridge.
Let's see.
Bridge.
Everything else it will be added. Okay. So I remember this part I needed to change a little bit. So seek first the oh, it's longer. Everything else will be added. All that I know the Lord will provide. Okay, so it's the same progression, but it gets longer. So we're gonna go 16, and I'm just gonna do this because why not? Treasures, everything else it will be added. Okay, I like it. And then it goes back to the 1, which is kind of nice. So we got seek first the kingdom and its treasures, everything else it will, all that I need. I know the Lord will provide. Okay, so I need to make that the and. Nice. And it's true. Okay, let me think about this. Everything else will be added, all that I need. know what? I'm just gonna go with the original chords for this section because it fits the melody. I couldn't get it to work with the melody on this one, and it doesn't. What I'm trying to avoid is this chord, right? But we don't have any of that here, so it's okay. Kind of staying in this cushy spot, so I think I'm okay. So we've got, and then we're gonna do, oops. It's not a very fun chord. That's better. So whenever you're doing this, though, it does keep the velocity energy, which is one benefit of it as well, as opposed to like if I'm just clicking the notes in, they're all the same velocity. So those are all the same velocity. And it's harder to get that natural chord voicing as opposed to like if I hit this, notice how these are all different velocities. It's a very slight thing, but it's enough to make it feel just a little bit more lively. And the rain is literally pouring down right now. So, okay. So I've got this. See first the kingdom and its treasures. Okay, that works. So how many times are we gonna do this bridge? Oh, it's twice as long as I thought. I know my gal's not empty-handed, so I need to do. I'm just gonna make it in one section. Otherwise, I'm gonna get confused later. Duplicate that. And make this one 32 as well. 32. Okay. And stretch this out. Just duplicate these. Command D.
Intro.
Oops.
Bridge.
Something I like to do is
Bridge.
make sure that all my clicks and cues are at 100% velocity. That way there's a consistent sound no matter what clip I'm in. And then if I need to like change things, I can do it here at the volumes. So that's a pretty important part for me using Ableton. And again, like I'm not using anything not already coming in Ableton in the Suite version, right? I just recorded myself singing or saying these parts of the song. I could do more, but I just haven't done it yet. So, okay, so the bridge happens. I think the bridge happens 2 times, and it's gonna build those 2 times. So I'm gonna duplicate this and call this bridge 2. Okay, going to bridge, and this is gonna go to the chorus. I'm just gonna fix that.
Chorus.
Chorus, okay. And then the chorus is gonna come next. So I'm just gonna start building. See, now I've already got things built out, so I can just kind of start building this out here. Everything I need. Yep. Yep. Okay, so the chorus happens twice. Yep. Another chorus. Yikes. Hopefully this is like a quick storm. And then after the chorus, we get a big bridge. And the thing is, like at this point, I usually kind of think through, like, am I gonna do the arrangement the way the recording did it, or is it gonna fit better in a different context if I do it my own way? I'll have to feel that out once I get into it. So, okay, let me finish doing the bridge now. So it's low first. So I think I'm gonna need to like layer this thing bit by bit. So I'm going to copy that patch over to the strings, and then I'm gonna take out the first half, and then pitch up the second half. That way when it comes in halfway, you know what, no. The thing is, like, the bridge is like 2 sections, so I think I'm just gonna like make them, instead of 32 bar sections, I'm gonna make them 16 bar sections, and then call it like 1B or something. Okay, that way I can like, because I'm thinking on the terms of like, at every new scene, I want to add in a new element, because it gets tricky when you're like having things come in later, like I was just trying to do. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it at 16 bars. Delete this. And I'm just going to have the cue
Bridge.
just saying bridge over and over, because it'll help. Like, it's not going to confuse me because it's like more bridge, right? So that way the first half can be just the pad, and then the second half can be the strings adding in. I like how this is going to go. Let me make sure I have this cued right. 16. Okay, so we're good. So here we go. And then we got. Okay. So sometimes if I pitch something up, it gets a little bit too high. A nice way to do this is just pick like the top 2 notes and then pitch those down, and it just creates like a different voicing, but it should work. Okay, let's try this. So now we can just copy this down for all the rest of the bridges. When bridge 2 comes in, I'm going to add in the bass. Okay, so 16 bars there, make it to 1 bar, and then where are we at here? Actually, let me just give myself a head start by copying the interlude. There we go. Is it on beat? Is it halfway through? Okay, no. It's like the 4th beat. Okay, good. Okay, so now you have the bass in there. And I'm just gonna put it on 2B as well. So here's the 2B. Oh, let me get the shaker in there too. Everything else is okay. Just add a little bit of movement. I'm just gonna add in. Oh, I think I'm just gonna do like the root notes, but I'm gonna just pitch these up insanely high. Because like after the second beat, it gets a little bit dull. So I can just add some like harmonic movement. Maybe just backing down. 5th down. I don't know. It's like a simple little melody thing, but it'll be nice in the mix. Okay, maybe let me go octave. There you go. Oops. Okay. I like it, but I think I'm gonna go for some more colorful notes. That's better. Okay, that feels good. Oop, my bad. It literally is like raining so hard outside. Kind of a long video, so if you're watching this, way to go. All right, so now basically just like taking it home. I've got the chorus, everything I need, everything I need. I can just add in these, I don't know, options.
Intro. Chorus.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go to the last bridges again.
Chorus. Chorus. Bridge.
And then I'm gonna drop to a chorus.
Chorus.
I'm gonna do like one of the lower choruses, which is this one. So I'm just option dragging that down. There you go. Okay. At this point, I think my arrangement should be done. And at this point, I'm just gonna stop, and then it should be done. So a lot of little details, but I think this should be enough. Like, the point of building the track is not necessarily to like show off the track, right? It's to show off the band and make us sound better than we can sound alone. So I'm hoping this just adds a little bit of enhancement. Like, even like using the piano patch, like it's not the most interesting synthesizer that I could come up with, but if I'm already playing the piano, it's gonna just act like an extension. And the truth is, like, most people who are listening and watching, like, they can't tell necessarily when like what I'm playing on the piano matches up with what they hear, right? It just kind of expands the whole thing. People aren't really thinking that critically about it unless they're musicians. So that's the idea. So at this point, I would just like play through it, make sure that I don't have any mistakes. I would look through and make sure that the clicks all point to where I want them to point, and that these clips all transition, these scenes transition at the right times. And that's it. So there you go. Wow. Thank you for watching. That's my process basically for building a backing track. We'll use this live. If I want to change the arrangement, I can always just like grab something up here, move it around, delete something, copy something over, and it's a pretty easy fix. Then what I'll do is I'll take this session and pull it in to a master session with all the different tracks and just trigger them off. So there you go. Thanks for watching.